long table, primitive. I will spare you from the long conversation, discussion, presentations. Let's make it a little fun. So let's say I give you $100 to invest in two businesses, business A and business B. Business A, success is 80% guaranteed. The cost of operation will not rise significantly, but even if it does, it is under your control. And the production rate will always go up. That's business A. Success rate 80%, the cost is in your control, production will only go up, it will not go down. That's business A. Business B, the success rate is less than 60%. The cost will always go up. And most of the variables are not in your control. Productivity will always go down, and it's also not in your control. Where would you put your $100? A or B? A? All right. So the A is manufacturing, and B is mining. None of you put money in mining. Just in the last 10 years, mining industry cost of operation has gone up 60%. 2 out of 5 mines, they fail to turn profit. Every now and then, it's cyclical. So the commodity prices go up, they make some money, but if they go down, many mining companies struggle. The productivity of mining industry has gone down 50%. Manufacturing has gone up 100%. So what are we doing here? Why do we keep investing money in mining? $2 trillion is needed to expand mining production capacity to serve the AI, data centers, electric cars, copper cables for chargers and everything. $2 trillion in a business that none of you chose. Anybody who chose business B? None of you chose business B, but $2 trillion are going to go in this industry. There has to be something interesting about this. I only think that that thing that keeps people engaged and maybe hooked to some extent to mining industry is because it's needed. Anything on this planet that is not grown on trees is mined. Everything on this planet that is not grown on trees is mined. We are surrounded by mining products in this room, so we can't survive. Humanity cannot survive without mines. So mining is essential. But as I said, the most of the cost elements, they are out of our control in mining. The pits are going to go deeper, always, no control. The haul roads, the haul distance is always going to go up. They are not going to come down. The grades are always going to decline, and the conditions are not always going to be favorable. They're going to go worse. So again, the question is, if none of you chose to be in that business, there's still money going to be invested. What is it that is in our control? How can we make money in this business? What is one thing? And that one thing is the machinery. And that's what Mark talked about the IDOC, that we can manage machines better, we can manage the operations better, we can do AI related IDOC. So the machines, we can handle machines better. That's our goal. But why? Why machines? Why not other things? Because 80% of the cost is in the machines. And if we do this right, we can make a lot of money in this business, mining business. Yeah? So the 80% of the mining OpEx is centered around equipment. Fuel is number 1, cost driver. Maintenance is number 2, tires number 3, and labor number 4. There's some slides I'm going to skip. If you want a copy of the slides, my contact will be in the end. As I said, I'm not going to bore you with unnecessary detail. As long as it's entertaining, You guys can stay. If you're not entertaining, just raise your hand and I'll make it more entertaining, okay? Promise. So why do these issues exist? Like, as I said, the only thing that we can control is machine. Machines contribute to 80% of operating cost. But there are so many problems that are persisting for decades. The only thing that we can control is out of control. Why is that? Why are we not able to solve these problems? It's not that they're unsolvable. These problems are solvable, but they are solved in isolation. Some students of their ideas. So they are solved in silos. They are solved in isolation. That's why these problems stay relevant and they affect the operation. Now, classic example, fleet management system, dispatch. As I told you, as I showed you in the slide, what are the top line items of the cost? Anybody remember that? I just showed you. Fuel, number one. Number two, maintenance. Number three, tires. Number four, labor. 4 items, top 4. Across the world, no dispatch system, no fleet management system talks about any of these 4 elements. The system that mines do not run without does not talk about the top 4 cost elements. And let me remind you, these are the only 4 elements that you can control. And those 4 elements are not covered by the very fleet management system, dispatch system that promised to help. It's a significant betrayal by the industry tech fraternity. Maintenance, health, mine planning, none of that is captured by FMS. Nothing against them, but that's a fact. What if I have a mining company, I've got Sandvik trucks, I've got Epilogue trucks, and I have a bunch of Volvo lined up, maybe Caterpillar here and there. Ideal situation would be that I should have a pane of glass where I can see the entire fleet in one single. That's the simple thing I deserve. I'm a mining company, for God's sake, and this is the only thing I can control. Let me have Epilogue, Sandvik, Caterpillar all in one glass pane, and I would like to monitor the fuel consumption, the tire, the labor, maintenance in one go. None of the OEMs will let you do that. None. The only OEMs who lets you access their data without paying them is the one that's not sophisticated enough to put a lock and key on it. Yeah? So that's the unattainable ideal that is not possible in our industry. Our industry is the only industry that doesn't follow any standard when it comes to mobile equipment. Every OEM is free to do whatever they want to do. They will put their data under lock and key. They will promise that I am your technology partner. Don't worry about tech.